Yo, I'm Coach Trifes, and this video will teach you how to actually do a Cork 360 on skis. So, what is a Cork 360? Well, it's an off-axis spun 360, just as simple as that. This is by far one of the coolest tricks to learn, and is quite useful for the backcountry as well. There's literally not one single person that is not reacting towards a Cork 3 like with a good old-fashioned
nice.
So let's get right into it. Quick advisory before. I recommend you to be comfortable with hitting jumps straight and with a safe 360, no grab needed. Furthermore, I want you to practice beforehand how to carve your straight airs. This will give you some practice on how to travel on the takeoff in mid-air. Traveling is a common phrase used by us skiers, which describes how much your flight path deviates from your initial takeoff. Some people love it for style reasons and the fun itself, some people don't like it. It's your choice. You might want to feel first how to actively stand near your ski's edges and how it is actually feeling on the takeoff. I'm saying this because a takeoff usually has a radius that gives the ski quite more juice on the carve on top of it. Unless you're hitting a dead flat takeoff, of course, which then again makes the trick super hard to initiate. Poppy jumps will definitely help the cause, guys. By the way, for the people that can already carve their straight 360s, this is going to be even easier for you. Let's talk about the in-run first. So, this is actually one of the two key factors that play a decisive role for a successful Cork 360, short Cork 3 from now on. As you can see, quite early already I'm setting my first turn. My main goal is to perform a S-shaped setup turn. This means I will be carving to the right and then transition into a left turn, vice versa if you spin to the right. If you happen to end up past the apex of your second turn, for example, if you spin to the left, you'll be facing the takeoff a bit more towards to the left, which is absolutely okay. You just have to keep in your mind that at this point, you will not be flying in a straight line, but end up a little more left in the landing. That's why I told you to practice carving straight airs beforehand, so you can get used to traveling. Next up, the takeoff. Now this can be quite the tricky part to understand. First of all, you'll have to understand the concept of the Cork 3 first. Since its components are so basic, you have to be able to visualize why this trick is actually working out the way it does. What makes it go off axis and how the hell do you get out of it so smooth? As previously mentioned, this trick is literally just one single full 360 rotation. This means you have to barely set for this trick. So don't go out throwing yourself into the air like a mad lad. This trick is all about finessing the way you shift your body weight and vertical body axis around, with the help of carving and your own efforts. Simplified, it is all about precision. This is why it looks so easy, but the people still struggle to copy it. As you can see, I'm trying to have my full weight on both skis' edges. Left foot, your standing leg, outer edge, right ski, inner edge. You do not pop with both legs equally. You split the amount of pressure onto your skis around like that. 40% on the left and 60% on the right. You could also experiment around a 30% left and 70% right combo. With that, you get even more into the axis. Simultaneously, you maintain pressure at your shins within the boots. No lazy loose potato action here that includes leaning back or something similar. Keep tension within your body and focus on a controlled posture. I'm trying to get my butt closer towards the ground, whilst also pushing with my upper body towards the takeoff. Slightly crooked to the left of me. This is wanted so I can maintain edge pressure on my skis while being on the takeoff as well. You also wind up just a little with your arms to initiate enough power to perform a full 360 rotation. Remember, it is literally just a 360. Don't throw your arms around as if you're trying to be a helicopter. Some people also try to imagine as if they were trying to swing around a vertical pole, whilst holding with your left arm onto it. You can also imagine to try jumping a 180-degree spin onto an imaginary wall in front of you, just to grasp what you're actually trying to accomplish here. All of these measurements will shift your overall body axis more towards to the inside of the jump. You're aiming to bank yourself like an airplane on a turn, but don't over-exaggerate this. Keep it simple, but effective enough. Because if you lose your edge pressure whilst on the takeoff, well, you're going to feel like Super Mario driving over a slippery banana. So now what? What to do in mid-air? At this point, you've basically done everything important for this trick to become a success and can now focus on enjoying the ride. You suck up your knees towards the chest, keep them there by either grabbing safety or just holding them in place. How? By holding up the good old tension in your body. You basically are trying to freeze yourself mid-air now. Keep eye contact with the floor to not lose your orientation. Otherwise you kinda stress out and then you start moving. If you inspect my head, you can see that I'm fixating my landing spot every second while being up there in motion. Literally, you're in for a ride now. Flow with the momentum you just created and keep your cool. Any unnecessary movement with your head will result in overspinning to a 540, 1.5 spins, which means landing switch for you, or losing the axis itself. In my opinion, you should only use either your hips, legs, or arms to do minor adjustments. Shifting your legs ahead of the rotation towards the 450 mark and last minute to pull them back towards the 360 again can help you maintain it to be a cork free. The 450 mark is between the 360 and the 540. By the way, shifting is basically what we call moving or turning our bottom body, which are the legs, at either about 90 degrees to the left or right, whilst the upper body remains straight and unturned. So as you can see, flexibility is kinda mandatory for this one. Sorry. Now that you've learned everything around getting into the cork free and maintaining the cork free, you obviously want to know how to get out of the cork free. Besides maintaining your rotation and axis, you literally wait for the landing to come. Because of the way you set this cork free, you will naturally come around from this orbital rotation by itself and you're going to be able to land plane on your feet. If this is not the case, you either moved mid-air, broke the flow of the rotation, or didn't pop enough if your outer leg was banking at the same time. The equation is quite simple here. Bring X amount of energy into this rotation, you get the X amount of energy back, which results in you coming out of the rotation just in time to land plane on your feet. If it's off, then you must have selected either of those mentioned departments. As this trick allows to almost spot the landing the whole time, seeing the ground approach should not really surprise you. Plenty of time to brace for impact. As usual, bend your knees to absorb the impact for a smoother landing, add some afterbank for the spice and right away, like you never did it another way. I hope I was able to get you to understand the magic and the physics about the cork free, and that you can get out ASAP to start chasing it. If you haven't already, consider checking out my Patreon for private coaching and benefits for subscribers of this channel. Link is down in the description. Check out my last video too, and see you next time. Coach Trifes out.